Insights with Terri Ep.233, a weekly look through the eyes of predictive astrologer Terri Ep.233. Here's Terri.
Hi everyone, this is Terri, and you're listening to Insights with Terri Ep.233. Thanks for joining me. And again, we're going to explore together the week of the 31st right into September the 7th, 2024. Let's see what we've got offered to us. Now that sun sign is still in our Virgo energy, which is going to allow us the want and the ability to be a little organized, maybe want to clean things up, get ahead of things so we don't feel overwhelmed when we get behind them. And we still have the Leo energy in Mercury, the planet of mind, how we think, how we communicate. That's that fire sign. But that's going to turn into Virgo on the 3rd of this week. So we have two Virgo in the sun sign and Virgo in Mercury. So that's compounding Virgo. It is an earth sign. So your healing, your ability to work with things, that power is going to come from the earth. And as an earth sign, it visits on us the wind, the sun, the air, all of the elements are ours to use, to heal, to understand, to make ourselves healthier. So as an earth sign, and I think that's wonderful, it might be sitting down beside a tree and letting the beautiful grounding roots allow us to anchor ourselves so that we aren't spinning out of control. So you can use all the elements, earth, wind, fire, water, all of them are yours. And we still have the fire sign of Leo in Venus, which is the planet of attraction. So there's a little impulsiveness there. Sometimes it's not the best place for a fire sign. If you have two fire signs living together, we could have an explosion. So just be careful with that impulsive, hot energy. It might be something that if you feel like you want to whip some words out of your mouth, you want to take a second to think about it. Is this going to kill me if it comes out of my mouth? So just be a little careful with that. But it is a good time to maybe do something impulsive, like hugging a person or maybe getting something done with that Virgo energy. I had a wonderful friend. He said impulsively, he just did a lot of weed whacking around here and got some things straightened up. And I am so glad he was impulsive with that, because it was very nice to go out there and see that. So don't be afraid to do something impulsively. I did that the other day. I was all dressed up, waiting for somebody to come. And my weed whacker was there because I couldn't get it finished in time. And they weren't here yet. And I thought, hey, if I just do one line, I ran the boundary down. And so I got all of 20 minutes of weed whacking done. So that was a really good impulsive energy to use. And then Mars, the planet of our passion and our drive, is in Libra. So we'll be driven, we'll be passionate about trying to keep the peace, trying to keep everybody in harmony with each other, which is not a bad thing. We need a lot of that right now because a lot of people are not keeping the peace. A lot of people are not trying to help the journey of other people. Now we have that Sagittarian energy in the beginning of the week. Well, actually it's more towards the end of last week and still finishing off in the beginning of this week. And that can make vulnerable areas, our hips, our pelvis, our thighs. And then that can move to our joints. If you're vulnerable there, you might have a little achier joints. Your knees might bother you a little bit more than normal. Just do what you need to do to take care of those little joints. And then towards the end of the week, we're looking at calf, ankles, and feet. And that psychic energy is going to be very strong on the full moon on the 7th, on Sunday. It's in Pisces. It's also a lunar eclipse, which adds to it. And on that psychic energy field, what we just know without maybe having it written down, I want to continue on the subject that we have been for the last few podcasts, and I want to get this behind us. I think it's something that needs to be explored and done. And so looking at that, what we were talking about in the last podcast was animal souls versus human souls, or consciousness, the consciousness of animals versus people, and is there such a thing? And as myself, as I said in the last podcast, as a behaviorist, I have found an understanding with animals that's very conscious, and they are conscious beings, and there's a spiritual purpose to them. I firmly believe that. And that has helped me explain some behaviors that some people have labeled as instinctual. It was their instinct that did that. But it also lets me understand things that are very different than what people will classify things. I know that certain behaviors of the dogs didn't come from instinct. That was something of the dog's soul, the dog's understanding, the dog's consciousness. And I do believe at times animals can be possessed by, they will call it walk-ins, or they can allow themselves to be nudged by higher vibrating forces or energy fields or entities to accomplish a purpose that is in the best interest of that human, or challenge that human so that the human gets that job done. So I believe that the animals maintain their individual personalities after death. Because I've seen not a whole bunch coming back. I've heard about a whole bunch coming back with talking to people and going through that. But I do know that oftentimes when they reincarnate, they either show us or demonstrate to us they are that animal by going and laying on that certain mat, or being attracted to that certain toy, or having certain mannerisms. And this isn't a breed thing that we're talking about. I know what a breed thing is. This is individual. And so oftentimes they will maintain certain personalities, especially if that connected bond is been really reinforced. I know that many of you understand that special animal, that you love them all, but that special one that just grabs your heart and holds it in their little paws. And that's a bond that transcends physical existence. I have not had a lot of dogs come back, but if you look at the number of dogs that I've had over because I do a lot of rescue, and they're they kind of go through here and to their forever home. I've recognized certain ones that have come back. Not a whole ton of them, but ones that I had a certain connection to. And I may not have been aware of it initially, because they can hide until the time is right. They can hide that from you. And I believe that that's what's happened in cases. And then all of a sudden it's like, how did I not see this? How could this have happened and I didn't see this? So these relationships continue in the afterlife, and they can continue in other lives. So oftentimes there's a reunion between humans and their animal companions. It might just be in this lifetime, just a brief encounter. That might not be that you share your whole life with that particular dog that reincarnated to be with you. Maybe they have a different job to do, and I've seen that too, where I was devastated. I thought the dog had come back to me. I was so joyful. I was beside myself. But that dog came back to me, but not to be with me. I was, what would you say? I was part of what was supposed to take place. So I was part of what was supposed to facilitate to get that dog to where it was going. I could explain the story, but I don't have the time, because I try to keep these short for my poor Charlie, so he doesn't have to spend forever transferring these files. So these dogs, these horses, these cats, these animals that we consider companion are maybe beginning their own eternal journey, their own partnership in spiritual service to another person, and we facilitate them, or vice versa. And animals who have learned love through the relationships that is allowed to us, through us, by us, and them too, with humans, they can join their human friends and help other souls. So we're enabling them and they're enabling us, both human and animal. It's a two-way street. And we discover that transformative power of unconditional love. I'm not asking for anything. I'm accepting it and I'm giving it kind of things. And sometimes people that have dreams can share the dreams with their animals, or go out there and meet them and share information that way. I have had it happen rarely, but information has come to me in the nighttime when I'm supposed to be sleeping. And some of those dreams for some people can provide comfort over decades. I've dreamt strongly about animals, maybe a horse or something that I haven't seen, or it's not that I don't think about them, because I do, but maybe I haven't had contact with them for maybe 30 years. And then there'll be this vivid dream. It's just like it was right there. And that moment of reunion, that joy, that recognition, I know what that was. That was an experience that I enjoyed. And the happiness, I can't even explain it. And the animal felt it too. So when they pass on, when we pass on, that transcends the physical limitations. And our minds can't hold everything because we're just human. But what is retained is the love and the loyalty of this earthly existence that we enjoy. And that is what I believe consciousness for both the animal, the human, the entity is. So this human companion that celebrates that celebration of life, that echoes, that love echoes throughout that spiritual realm. And that reunion is not an ending, it's a beginning to start maybe joint service in different dimensions, where love is the fundamental creative force, that is the strongest force in the universe. And the relationship with all living creatures is love, if we can find that in our heart. And that is what becomes the strong force that drives us and drives our evolution and makes us try harder, makes us try to be more, makes us want to be more. So it's an opportunity to even have our own souls evolve and work harder. So when I say work harder, I'll go to bed sometimes and think, boy, I could have done better today. There was a couple of places I was pretty soft. But I know if I'm lucky and I have it tomorrow, I will ask, please, be patient with me. Maybe tomorrow I'll be a better person and I'll just try harder and harder each time. And that's what we're supposed to be doing. So when you look at your animal, look at them a little differently. Don't look at them as just a pet companion. Look at the consciousness that transcends time. Look at the animals as our teachers. And there's so many things that are our teachers. The earth is our teacher. Plants, the wind, clouds, the butterfly that goes by, the bird that stops on your screen and looks you right in the eye, the moth that visited me for a client and stayed. It was a huge moth and very distinct. And I don't know a bunch about moths, but this isn't one that was common, I know. And stayed the whole reading. And then I mentioned it to the client, and because it was a phone reading, and she said that was her totem, was moths. And it's astounding, right? There's so much more than what we know. So be open this week with that energy field of Virgo, being able to try to understand and try to organize our thoughts, and that Leo, the leader, the energy of fire and getting things done, and the willingness to be in a harmonic relationship with Libra in Mars to preserve a vibrational energy field that's in harmony with your friends, your relatives, yourself, the earth, trying to find that harmonic note that makes you feel at peace. And that Sagittarius that we're leaving right now, but still have little pieces of in the moon, is spiritual. It isn't religion. That's a totally different thing. It's spiritual. It's trying to find the spiritual answers, to take more of yourself, to ask for more of yourself, to be more, to see the best in other people. It's a very, Sagittarius is a very, very spiritual, positive energy field, and that's what's being offered to us to learn, to grow, to help each other. So that's what we have for this week, guys. Maybe not just this week. Maybe what we're supposed to be doing is taking this and moving it forward into more understanding of all the beings that surround us, the insects, the butterflies, the plants. I mean, I used to just, I don't know, take a leaf off a plant and never think about it. Now, it's a different feeling. Maybe the plant will offer me that leaf, but there's more reverence and more respect of it. The trees that cool my home and shade me from the sun, when the leaves drop and I need the sun to heat the house, all of it is so amazing to me. And that's what we are supposed to be doing, is becoming little children and being amazed by life and joyful in it. And that's our job this week. On that note, I would like to thank all of you for taking the time to listen to my ravings. And I'd like to thank Charlie O'Brien too for putting this on Spotify, on Apple, iTunes, Amazon Music, SoundCloud, YouTube, and then I put that on Facebook. So thanks to everybody. If you would like a reading for yourself, feel free to text or call 519-726-6699, or you can email me at terri.coutts@gmail.com and listen to the Big 8, the number 8 radio. That's Charlie's radio. He streams it, and that is the 60s, the 70s, the 80s, all that music that makes you feel so good. Just do yourself a favor and tune in. Thanks again, everybody. Listen to those oldies. Bye for now. Have a great week.
Thanks for listening to Insights with Terri Coots. Visit Terri's website at terriworld.com. TERRI world.com.